G'day, how you going? Ian Apples here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to teach beginners and advanced beginners how to paint in acrylic. And as always, these are my free gifts to you. I'll give you the size of the canvas I'm using in today's tutorial, and I'll also put the colours going up the screen that I choose to use in this acrylic painting. Now, I don't know if you've got a keen eye and you've noticed, but I've done something different on my easel board here, so I'm going to bring you over and show you what I've done before we get with this painting. All right, now what I've done, I've got my stapler here, but I've opened it out that way so I can staple the canvas on. And what I did, I had an old piece of cork board that was for my office, you know, where you pin business cards and doodads to it, a pin board. So what I've done, I cut an appropriate piece out. You probably cannot see the edge here, but there's the edge there, and I've painted it the matte black and I screwed it onto my board. Now what I do is I simply staple my canvas to that foam board because it's softer than this hardwood, because sometimes I've been noticing when I'm painting the tape or the canvas likes to peel out of the tape because I like to give it a thin edge. So I've stapled it on there so there's no way it's going to move, and then I simply tape up the edge of the canvas so when I'm finish, I can pull the tape off and there's a decent border there before you frame it, okay? All right, I'll give you an idea what's going on in my mind. I've got a horizon line just under halfway here, and on the very edge of the horizon we've got a distant landscape, mountain, hills, whatever that is there, and we're going to have the sun just setting behind it. Now here, this is going to go above the horizon line and come down lower. Now do not do a straight line there, it'll look wrong. Because this is a bit closer, we need to have the bottom line of that a little bit curved because we're looking a bit over it, not far away like this one here. Now grabbing my putter on a brush and some retarder, because I want my sky to blend, so I need this retarder mixed with this soft bodied titanium white. It's just a very soft bodied out of a big bottle. And I want to get this mixed so it'll keep my paints wet longer for the sky area. And I'll get this big canvas primed up with this. Now this canvas I'm using is Frederick's canvas. It's already pre-primed. I don't gesso it. I don't need to gesso it. The only time I'm going to prime it up or condition it is like now what I'm doing to the sky. So I'm going to go just pretty much to the horizon half first and get all this crisscrossed and blocked in for now. I'm not worried how messy it is because we'll use our artistic license to get it the way we need it, which is like this. Coming to the tip of the brush, and I want to stroke this left and right.
Like a pure gentleman you are, Ian.
That's right, just left and right, because you want it nice and thin. You don't want it too thick. All right, I've cleaned my putter on a brush and I'm picking up some Indian yellow just to get down the horizon line there. And I want to come right across here with this, right across there, push it into that colour, and now I'll just sort of fade it up into that white there, just so it's fading away from the tip of the brush bristles there. I think I will get a bit of yellow oxide or yellow ochre just to, because that looks a bit too cartoony. So I'm just going to come across here and scoot that into it just to change the value of that Indian yellow. I like that, I've loved that, that's beautiful. I'll push it right up there and then stroke it smooth. All right, cleaned the brush again and I'm picking up some permanent alizarin just so we can get these. I'm getting it to the top there. Now I want to scoot it in to where I want it to come into that yellowy, oxidey, Indian-y mixture there. There we go, just like that. And I'll get some of this up there as well because I want some of this to turn purple when I add the blue. So I'm just kind of scooting it where I feel I need it. That'll do. Now look at all that mess on the brush. I'm going to wipe that off. Just wiped it off. And I want to gingerly push that into that yellow first. And then I'll come up and then wear this away like so. Now down on the palette here, I've got some French ultramarine blue. I'm just choosing to use French here. Now I want to get it up here, across the top, over this corner, across the top, and now start bleeding that into that red, something like that. mixing the two. Come right across there. Okay, now I'm stroking it left and right like a gentleman again, and I want to get some dioxine purple now, just to darken up those corners. So I've just put some dioxine on the brush, put it there and there. I might get something, I'll stamp it on like this way I can control it in where I want it to. There we go. This is a good way to control your darks. I always do. I've been doing this a while like this. I love it. Now I've got to wipe all that nonsense off the brush, and I will pull it into my sky now, all the way across there. There we go. Now if you feel you'll wreck it, keep pulling it with your putter on a brush. Just simply grab a blending brush now and a kitchen cloth, just like this, and work out where you want to blend. Start from the lighter areas first, just tapping it in, getting it blended into your sky there. Wipe your brush as you go. That's why you need the kitchen cloth. All right, now we'll add some other features into our sky. Now I'm looking at my sky and I'm feeling I can see something happening here. So what I'll do is I'll get some clouds happening over there, just with my fan brush and the titanium white out of a tube. So I'll probably take advantage of where this is meeting and try and get this like that coming how I want. That'll do for now. Grab yourself a blending brush and your kitchen towel again. And my aim is to leave the inside edge and blend the top edge out, so we get some kind of artistic cloud window there. Look at it smearing into those colours there. Beautiful turmoil. Now look at what's on the brush. It's important to wipe it as you go. Don't touch the inside edge. Just let this twist and turmoil. It gets all smoky looking. Dance it, because sometimes, watch here, you might get these little twirly bits you don't like. So once I see them, if I don't like it, then I'm dabbing on it, because everything's wet. It's working beautiful. I'm controlling the duller bits and the brighter bits as I do this. Here, twisting it out. Start there, get rid of that weird edge there. There we go. And then continue out. There we go. There's nothing to it once you know how to do it, okay? I'm telling you right now, and I told you that for nothing. Now it's important to wash your brush before you reload it, and I'm going to start again maybe here. I'll try and get the inside a bit smoother, and I'm coming back here. Now look at this brush, it's contaminated with all that red. I'll stop there. Look at it. Same again, I want to blend the top half of it back within the painting. Hopefully my hand's not covering what I'm doing here. Turmoil and twist. Look at all that. See how the turmoil and twist does all this weird cloud behavior? I love it. And the only reason this is working on this acrylic paint is because I put that soft craft paint down with the retarder first, and it allowed all these other colours that are sitting on top of it to be blended on wet instead of dry paint. Now I'm going to come back here. Now this is a weird looking sunset, I suppose, but it's art. Now dab them down a bit like that, keeping the turmoil and the lusterness of it all there.
You need the lust of it there, Ian.
Yes, it's good when you got that there like that. Whoops, look what I just did there. I'll get rid of that. Still wet paint. Okay, now I want to create something, I don't know, about here. Another pass. That'll do. Pull this back. Same procedure here, leaving the bottom half tight and heavy and twisting the topper half back within the painting, and it's just creating different weird artistic looking layers of fun looking clouds there. Now, we're not going for realistic here, so it's just a beautiful, colourful art piece. Okay, I'm looking at it. I might want something, where are we? We'll bring something here. Just starting about there, coming down, flip-flopping, and come right over this way, down there. And then bring some of it, so it's got some body back in here. There we go. Leaving the bottom again and pulling the top within our painting there. Dabbing, twisting, just getting all sorts of business going on there. I might drag that because that's on the horizon there. That's why it pays to analyse your work. Sit back, have a look at it. So I might just put something here. Now you don't have to put this one here if you don't want to. I'm putting it there because it's a tutorial and I just want to show you what you can do. I want to get the base, just kind of pull the base flat. There we go. That's flat enough. And leave a lot of that vibrancy there, but just kind of blend it, sit it into your sky there. And if you want to add yumminess to it, we just simply add yumminess. Now before our sky does dry, I'm going to get me setting sun going down here. So I've got an appropriate pouncer for the size. I'm just using that craft paint to wet the pouncer first because it's so dry. Okay. Okay, now I want to pick up this good quality white paint and get me setting sun coming down into the sky there. I want it to the left here. Where are we? So I'm going to be about there. I'll put it on first just so you'll see. There it is there, but it's going to be bigger than that. So I'm going to use this now to get it the size that I want. There we go. Now the edge isn't sharp and hard because you can't really see the edge of the sun. Now see this darker colour here? I want to grab some of that because the setting sun's picking up those colours. So I've just got a little brush. I can hopefully stamp some of that in. That's the colour it's going to be. But what we want to do, we want to leave the top. So I'm going to come about here, just so you get a vibe of it all, and about here. And now that sun's pretty wet. You might have to dry it. I'll see if I can get away without drying it. Giving it a bit of a quick dry. I just tapped in a little bit of the permanent alizarin as well. So I'm just going to use this, well it's an actual deer foot this one, just to get this, I want the bottom soft. And this can go, where are we? Just around, so we've got a nice white glare here. Just grabbing some more of the white. Pulling it up from the bottom. Now you do your sort of sun. This is my sun. I'm putting this one in here. Doesn't mean if you do this tutorial you've got to do this one. You can, or you just put your own vibe there, okay? I'm just grabbing a bit of white just to glare up here, a little bit more. There we go. All right, I'm going to go back to the craft paint with the retarder in there, and we'll get that on me putter on a brush just so as we can get the water done. Now before I put the water on, I've just grabbed some masking tape so as I can find my horizon line, which is about there. Now I want to paint this to the tape. Don't paint it on there because you'll get white paint right against your masking tape, and when you peel it off, when you've painted your colour on there, you'll have this stupid white band of paint on your horizon line. And sometimes, most of the time, it's not a good thing to have. So you just pretty much paint to the tape there. I'll just show you here. Painting to it, painting to it. Now just stroke that left and right like the sky, and we'll put the watercolours in there. Now the watercolours are going to be darker than the sky, so I'm going to, instead of using Indian yellow, I'm going to use the yellow oxide just to trim along this part of the water here. So I'll get this right against the tape now, and a bit of luck, when we pull our tape off, we won't have any white line there. Get a bit more on there. Now I'm feeling it's looking a bit muted, so I've got a little bit of Indian yellow there. There we go, that's giving it a nice vibe. Beautiful. A little bit of the permanent alizarin on the brush just there, and we'll sort of come there. I don't want to go too much with this. I want the water darker, if anything. I'll fade that into that colour there. Get rid of any lines I'm pushing up with X strokes. And like I said, I'm using phthalo blue now because I want the water darker vibe than up the top. So I'll get this pushed right along the bottom. Get more, push it, and then start bringing it into that reddish colour, crisscrossing your strokes. There we go. Into that red, coming up, coming up. The water's darker, it's not the exact same colour as the sky. Dioxine purple. So this is going to go right at the very bottom, right along here. There we go, and then just gingerly bring that up. X strokes, whatever, stroke it left and right. There we go. All right, now before it dries, I found a brush, this hake brush, somewhere about the size of me moon, sun, whatever it is. And I want to pick this up and get this reflection into the water. So within a straight line, I want to come down like so. Grab the other side, load the other side of the brush up, because I'm coming to the, see how I come to the edge of that sphere there? On this side. There we go, that's all we need to do. That is it. Grab yourself a big soft brush, anything. I've got even this one here. I've never used it. I mean, I have used it, but I've used it for things like this. And we're just going to simply waterify that one way, the other way. There we go. And now before we get the tape off there, I've got my flat toothbrush. I'm rubbing it into water, and then I'm slowly pulling some, I'll get a flat sheet of paint there. I'm slowly pulling some white paint in there because I need some shimmer on that reflection just to give it that bullshit effect. So what I want to do here is get this on top of that where we waterified it. Load your toothbrush up a little bit more if you need to. I've got to be careful not to get any of this onto the sky. There we go.
Can we watch you pull the tape off, Ian?
Yes, we'll pull that tape off now. And there we go, we do not have a white line against the horizon. So I'll give this a dry and then we'll start adding the detail. So I've got me phthalo blue. I'm just going to use a flat brush to mix it, and a little bit of that permanent alizarin. And then we're going to start, where's the white? Here it is here. I want to get this very pale. I want a bit more of that. Maybe the French will be a better colour, but this'll do. I want it very pale. Now we're going to need our bullshit stick so as we can get a nice straight line at the bottom of this there. That's the colour I want. So I'll set that there, and I wanted this, whereabouts, that one's going to, so about here, and just get the base of this landmass lined in like so. There we go, boom. That's all the bullshit stick needed to do. See how easy it was to get that line there. Nice and easy. And we're going to pretty much make a block of land out here, like hills, mountains or something within the background there. Now see the tops, see how I've made it a bit hairy and brush, you can see all the brush strokes there, the brush hairs. That's just adding the tops of the whatever's on that, trees or whatever. Bring that over. Now this is just that permanent alizarin, phthalo blue and white mixed to this temperature here. And what I will do is I'll get a lighter value of it just so as I can add, I'll show you what I mean. So grabbing some white over here, just with what's in the brush first, because if you add it to that, it's still going to be too powerful. There we go, I feel that's not too bad. Start over here first, because what I want to do is just kind of do this from the top and radiating down into that landmass. I'll wipe the brush and I'll just kind of fade it into there, leaving pockets of darkness and whatnot. And I feel that's just made it look a bit more worthy of the art piece. Now I've got that same brush again. I've got French ultramarine and the permanent alizarin, and I want to mix up a dark colour. I don't want black, I want this colour here with two of the primaries, just to get our darkness in before we add the colours on top. Just to make it easy, I want it coming to, I want to see this bit of the horizon line, so I want it to come to about there. Oh, it can even come to about there, and it's going to come up like that. Now you don't put a straight line there because it's going to make the water look like that and you land on top of it like that. It's got to look proper. So what we'll do, I want this about here, so I'll just grab the brush, where's my hand, and we're going to slowly just radiate that on an arch, not an arch, yeah, on a curve there. So it's not a straight line. I'll paint all this in. Now don't press too heavy, all that retarded paint's underneath. And then I'll use my filbert brush just to get the tops of some simple island trees out here or something. I'll just do that for now. Now there's no reflections in this because it's not a lake in the middle of the sunny day. It's, you look at some water with trees over it, certain times of the day, you'll realise that there's not always reflections in the water. Now I've just switched to my filbert brush. Put whatever trees you want. I'm just putting my filbert trees in here. So we want to come from the air and then come down into it, just so we don't get a solid line where it's breaking up. You want it to kind of look nature-fied. Give me a comment below, tell me where you're from, how you found my channel if you're new here, and if you're a regular viewer, give me a hello anyway. I like to hear from everybody. While I'm at it, I just thought I'll put, this is obviously a shallower end here, I want to get a bit of a stump log, a bit of a something in the water there. Jagged and broken-y and just, it's just in the water. I need to get the bottom of it flattish. And now I've got to kind of I'll put this reflection here for the art's sake. And you want it broken up. So I'll put the line there so I know where to travel. I want to have a look at my monitor and just see how that's faring. This will be in silhouette, so what I'm going to do is just put the odd little skinny thing like that off it, right? I've done this in a painting a while ago and I quite liked it. And just some dots. So they look like bulbs ready to regrow from an old dead stick that's still got life in it and it's ready to sprout life again. Now I've got some green oxide here. If you don't have green oxide, just find a green and mix a bit of white with it till you get this vibe if you want. And I just want to get some detail in that landmass. Starting with here, I want to leave a little bit of dark there, but if I lose it I could scratch it back. I want to get some like lawn just at the base of this coming out. Get it there, get it there. There we go. Now using the filbert, we'll lace this in with this colour that we just put the lawn on with, the green oxide. And where you come down to the lawn, it's important to leave dark bits under there so it looks like you're looking underneath the bush and there's depth there. And if you press too hard, they're going to go too thick and blodgy, so try not to press too hard. And I'm just tinseling down the landmass like this as I go. Now watch as I get closer to that lawn there. I'll just show you what I mean by not going right onto it. Leave some darkness. This is just simple filbert trees. I do them quite a lot. Now to make it simple, I've just got what I got in the brush and I've got some cadmium yellow medium here and I want to gradually get that to the value that I want, just to gingerly highlight that. It's a bit closer to us so it's not quite in silhouette. If it was just left in silhouette it could make the painting look a little bit too boring. Okay, let's start from off the painting. Now this, you just want less than what you just put on there. Let's say those green first bits you just put on there at 100%. These you want to do about 65 to 75%. I'm coming right off the painting there, not stopping. And I'm going to look now and just see where I feel stuff can be hit with light, whatever light's available in the sky there that's lighting things up. And especially see down the bottom where it's meeting the lawn there, we'll get right over the lawn a little bit. It can come over the lawn a bit now, but leaving those pockets of darkness there. And every now and then, like I'm doing right now, step back, have a look in your monitor there, have a look, squint your eyes, and I could see just where I need more light hitting bits and bobs of this stuff. And if you see anything looking like a pattern, disguise it straight away. That's it. I don't know if we're going to put some white into that and get a bit more yellowy vibe of that. Muted down. Let's see if it's going to stand out first. It's standing out. All right, we'll just autograph this and we'll take the tape off and see how it looks. And I want to thank all my Patreons and YouTube channel members who support my content every month for the price of a cup of coffee. Much appreciated. And if you want to get the perks they get, become a member, hit the join tab or hit the Patreon link and become a member there. All right, let's pull the tape off and see how this worked on my new board. Staples held it beautifully. There we go, that's not too shabby. There's so much more detail you can do with that, but it's just a subject, an idea, a layout matter that you can paint, and I know you can do it. Well, that was different. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you be sure to tell your friends, but if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Also, check out this other video of mine. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.